yung mistakes na may encounter mo, hindi siya pa isa-isang mistake lang. So pag kunyari, meron tayong na-detect na isang mistake, yung mga mistakes mo, umuulit yan sa mga future sentences mo, sa mga future conversations mo. So, yun, hindi lang siya isang mistake. So every time na may maayos tayong mistake, marami tayong mistake na naayos. Okay? Teka.
Pinanood ko nga po yung coaching sa YouTube. Pronunciation.
Okay. O yun, important yun. Kasi, yun yung top words. So, pag may mali kang isa doon, paulit-ulit.
Opo, top 100.
If ever na magkaroon ka ng question, biglang pumasok sa isip mo habang nagko-coaching tayo, lista mo lang. Kasi super important yon. Tapos kung mabilis ako masyado, sabihan mo ako. Ano pa lang gusto mo? Straight English tayo ngayon or Taglish muna?
Straight English tayo po.
Okay. Sure. So, yeah, let's speak in English then. Okay, so if I'm going too fast, let me know. And by the way, how was your experience with the writing exercises?
I think the writing exercises, it gives me a little bit of hard time because I thought at first the study will be more on pronunciation, but I don't know, I think I need to improve more of my grammar or my vocabulary because I think I chose some words differently. I don't know.
Okay.
Or I think I'm a bit redundant.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we teach. So if you've read my super long lesson, what do you call that? Removing bad habits. So
Yeah,
it's a story
I
about my conversation with my boss and all my mistakes. And
yeah, I did read that.
so the reason why I'm good at English is because my employers complained about my English. I wasn't very good. And I wrote down all the lessons that I learned and I just put that into my notebook or my journal and I put that into practice and I got better. And when I got better, I got higher paying jobs and better opportunities. And yeah, now I find myself teaching this online, right? So,
Also, what I noticed of myself is sometimes when I see new words, I will definitely search it or take notes first and then search it later. And then I will try to. My technique personally is if I search it on Google, I will put it on my notes, literally write it down. I think when I write down, I absorb it better. I don't know.
yeah, that's a lot better when you write things down. And
For some reason, I tend to forget about it, maybe because I don't use it often.
usually writing on a physical notebook helps.
Yeah.
It stays with you for a long time. So this is one of the things I notice when I'm doing groceries. If I write down what I need to buy, I can leave my list at home or I can just take a photo of the list. And I don't need to look at the list while I'm in the grocery. I'll remember what I need to buy.
Yeah, because you wrote it yourself. You write it yourself.
Yes. What did you discover about yourself after writing the 7 activities?
I think more on first. The first one is this is definitely correct that if you try to minimize the words and make it simple, it will be less complicated to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Also, sometimes if I'm going to write a sentence like the one that the teacher usually teach is the straight one. Sometimes it's like redundant. When you said I on the first one and then you have the period and then you said I again, it's like repeating and repeating and repeating.
No, that's better than changing it to a third person. So, like let's say for example, we have this sentence. Kevin went to the gym. After Kevin went to the gym, Kevin went to the restaurant to have lunch. After Kevin had lunch at the restaurant, Kevin went home. So a lot of people a lot of the teachers will say you only need to use Kevin once, use him or he, like use a pronoun, and then you only need to use the gym once. You can say
Yeah.
there or like use a pronoun instead of the gym, right? Because it's I said it a few times. I said the gym a few times. But here's the problem. If you're talking about something complicated like a story about what happened, so Kevin will be replaced by a he, and
Yeah.
then the place, the gym, will be replaced by there. Now,
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
went
yeah.
to the next sentence, Kevin ate at the restaurant. If you followed that rule, it's gonna be Kevin went to the gym. After Kevin went to the gym, he Kevin went to the gym. Then the next sentence is after he went to the gym. After he went there, he
Uh-huh.
went to the restaurant. And then when you go to the third sentence, um, after he ate there,
Yeah.
he went home. So where am I? Am I at the gym or am I at the restaurant? So it becomes confusing.
It becomes confusing.
Now,
Also,
if
you
we
need to think
introduced
more.
another character at the restaurant, Kevin met, say, Michael,
uh,
and then it becomes Michael said this. Now, if we were changing the names into he or she, then it gets confusing when you add more details, when you add more characters.
yeah.
That's why, even at the risk of sounding redundant, being specific is a lot better.
Yeah.
Just for that reason, because you are giving instructions, and the problem with that is, I mean, the strategy only works if you're writing a short story with not a lot of things happening.
Yeah. A simple story.
Yeah. My name's Kevin. I went to college and I studied business management. I worked in sales, and let's say if I never left sales, like my first job was there and my next job was there, like that's okay, I guess. But you want to be as detailed as possible, because if
Yeah.
your goal is to work in a call center, or your goal is to work in management, like you want to be promoted, you want to be as specific as possible, because 90% of your job is giving instructions to people who are not smart enough to understand complicated words.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
you when you get to a high position or when you get to a high paying job, you lose your right to complain about other people's stupidity. Like, if they don't know what to do, if they're wrong, it's usually your fault, right?
yeah. 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 Also, this type of short sentences, it is easier for you to spot what is wrong, and then it's also easier for you to see what are the words that you can take out.
Yeah. And you can play around with it. Like, it's not 100% simple words. Like, every now and then you want to change it, that's fine. But you want to put it at the you want to use the simple words first, and then if you want to change it later, that's okay. But like, while you're learning, while you're getting used to communicating again, you can simplify and then you can improve it further. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Now I
sure. Go ahead.
because when I'm writing this sentence, I sometimes the next sentence usually starts like N.
Oh,
They're like
okay.
hanging.
You wanna yeah, I guess that's one of the things I noticed when I taught people to shorten their sentences. So what ends up happening is they split the ideas. So what they usually the usual description of a compound sentence or a complex sentence is there are multiple thoughts. But my instruction is do not make a sentence that has multiple thoughts.
Yeah.
Split your sentence into two or three depending on how many ideas you initially wrote in the first sentence. So what happens is people have a sentence that I like I like doing this, and then the next sentence is because I'm like
Yeah.
that's the entire idea of lesson 7. But here's the problem. Um, in a lot of cases, when you start a sentence with and or
Or
but because
or yeah.
also or like any of those words, if you remove those words like and or but because, then the meaning of the sentence does not change. I was making an image yesterday, so like I wanted to share this on the screen, but so I kept saying that remove don't start the sentence with because or remove the word because at the beginning of the sentence. So it says here the sentence because I do believe as I get older my expenses will increase. If you change the sentence, if you remove the word because, it's gonna mean it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So if you so look at your sentences that start with and or but or because. You could just
Actually,
you could just start a new sentence without those words,
yeah.
and your sentence will mean exactly the same thing.
Actually, I just asked about that, but I didn't do that. Even the one I saw some of this having that like the, I believe this is that I remove the I believe because you can go directly.
Yeah, if you can go directly, that would be fine.
And that's why
You
I asked
sound
some
more
of it.
confident. At the beginning of 2000, I think it was during quarantine, I got myself the Grammarly, the paid feature for Grammarly.
Ah, yeah, I saw that on
I paid for
Facebook.
that. And one of the things that I've learned using that tool is you sound more confident if you remove the words simply, just, or what do you call that? Simply, just, like words that you're trying to do to, like, it's only or it's just. Like, if you remove those words, you're gonna sound more confident.
Oh, because this word is like uh 50-50, something like that. You're not sure.
Yeah. Or you're trying to pretend that you're confident.
Oh, now I notice because sometimes when I write emails, I usually I just wanted to ask something like
Yeah.
that.
If you remove just, I wanted to ask.
It does go directly
It's more direct and it's more casual.
because sometimes I'm thinking that because it's directly you are directly asking me.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
If you're trying to improve your communication skills for work, it doesn't help you that
You're
it doesn't help you that you're telling the person you're speaking to that you're way below them.
okay. Yeah, I get you.
Like, you're the boss and I'm just the employee, and like I'm trying to put like lower myself further
Yeah, yeah.
by the choice of words. But based on my experience in call center work, like working with Americans, they're more of like you're on the same level. Talk to me.
Straightforward
Yeah,
also.
talk to me. Let me know what I need to know. Let me know what needs to happen, and we'll talk about that.
Also, that's why you don't want us to call you sir.
Yeah, like I ask
Right.
people to stop
I
calling me
read that.
sir.
I read that.
Um, so yeah, do that. So do not begin sentences with and or but, um, because um, yeah, those are the most common things that you could do to improve your communication. So what we're gonna do next is, oh yeah, I forgot to ask. How do you feel? How do you think that writing affects your confidence, or how do you feel writing affects your confidence?
Right. I actually don't. I actually don't know. I
Like,
don't know.
what do you think writing, like what you did in the past 7 days, affected your confidence with how you communicate?
To be honest, I don't think more about the confidence. I think that it forced me to think better. I don't know about confidence. It forced me to think better in a
Mhm.
way that I need to think of a new word. Something like
Okay.
that. To explain what I wanted to explain. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that related to confidence. I don't
Well, that does affect because you're more precise. When you're
know.
more
Yeah.
precise, you're more confident. Well, here, let me give you the Tagalog explanation. Have you ever gone to a store and you've heard people say, pakiabot nga yon yung kwan dun sa ano, and then they just point in a general direction.
Yeah.
And then you hear the person assisting in the store look confused, like,
Where?
alin po yung, kasi sabi nyo, pakikuha yung ano dun sa kwan, dun sa may ano. Diyan lang yun. Without
Yeah.
exactly saying, right?
Yeah.
And now that you have to write it down, like you have to be more specific. So if you were getting something from the fridge, you have to tell me if I should get it from the freezer or the main compartment. And if I'm getting it from the main compartment, where exactly should I get it? Is it at the top shelf? Is it at the middle? Is it at the vegetable crisper at the bottom? Or is it on the door? Right? And then when you get to, like, if it's on the top shelf, is it on the left, at the right, or at the middle? Is it
Right?
at the front part of the top shelf or way at the back? So you're more specific.
Yeah.
And you're more confident that I'll get you exactly what you're looking for if you were more specific. Okay?
Okay.
And by the way, what's your goal? What's the main goal of enrolling with us? What are you trying to do once you have better English?
To be honest, I don't know if you remember, I said that my training on call center will be on Monday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
Well,
that from scheduling. Yeah.
uh, actually, I don't like studying. Actually, I don't like studying. I just saw this from questions. Uh,
Oh,
Candice? Is that right? Candice or Sheena?
yeah. Well, she goes by Sheena when we chat. So yeah, I
So
just remember
that's
Sheena.
why
I
she
was
said that.
surprised. I wasn't expecting her to post
She
my
didn't
training.
post, but she mentioned that I'm suggesting you, Kevin Olega, if you want to take some, you know,
Yeah,
training like that.
I wasn't expecting that because I initially thought that like we're in competing space, but I think she focused more on creating YouTube videos, and I focused more on just teaching a small number of people.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Okay.
so you already have a, what do you call that? So you already have a job in a call center, and then you just wanted to perform well. I
Maybe
presume.
or more on prove myself.
Okay. Uh, do you already know what account you'll be assigned to, or what kind of work that you?
No, no.
They didn't
I
say the account, like if it's a telecom account or a financial account.
unfortunately they said they will discuss it on Tuesday. That's
Mm,
the second day of the training.
okay.
So
Um,
but it is every account is customer service in nature. That's what they said.
okay, so customer service. Would you know if it's like a bank or like a billing department?
I don't think it's that.
It's not a bank. Okay. So, well, the common ones that I encounter are customer service for big companies. So if you compare it to the local version, you're probably working for America's version of Sky Cable, PLDT, Globe and Smart, or something like that. So if they say it's customer service, there's a good chance that you'll be assigned to the billing department. So one of the things that I learned when I was one of the things that I learned from my boss is when you become you're required to be more specific when you speak to a customer. So for example, in my old job, when they asked us to so I'm going to give you a customer service scenario, okay? So the customer calls our company and I answer. I say, "Thank you for calling. My name's Kevin. How can I help you?" And the customer tells me, "Kevin, I have a problem. My internet is not working. Well, when I connect my phone to the Wi-Fi, it's not connecting to the web page is not loading." All right. So, what's the first thing I said? "I'm sorry to
Um,
hear that. Don't worry, you've reached the right department. I'll be happy to assist you with your internet problem."
yeah.
Right? Sounds
Um,
okay, right? Like, it's specific. I pointed that we're gonna fix your internet problem. But to the person there in a call center, there are call center agents, there are team leaders, and then there's this other department called the QA department, quality assurance department. The
yeah.
quality assurance department inspects. They listen to your call and they point out everything that's wrong with what you said. Okay?
Okay.
So we have this um, metric, or they judge us by our specificity, how specific we are, or when we speak to the customer. So apparently, in a call center, saying that "I'll help you with your internet problem" is not good enough, right?
Yeah.
So I should be more specific. So what's more specific? I'm sorry you're having trouble with your. So let's say, what did I say? "I'm sorry you're having trouble with your internet, but don't worry, reach the right department. I'll help you connect your smartphone to the Wi-Fi so you can browse the internet or you can visit websites on your phone again."
Yeah.
It should be that specific. Like, whatever he said, I need to rephrase that, but it should be along the lines of what he said. I should avoid the general, "Oh, we'll fix your internet."
Yeah.
Okay?
I,
So the opposite is, kunin mo doon, like yun, pakikuha yun doon sa ano, like that's not good. Like you have to be specific with what and where and how you're trying to do what you're trying to do. Okay?
okay.
So, yeah. What's before getting into the call center background, what was your
I'm a sales, under sales. Also customer service, under sales.
you're working in sales
Yeah.
and you're transfer with some customer service function. Tell me about your sales background.
I work in a small business company in Singapore. Actually, it's not as simple. If I don't know, I didn't work in sales here in the Philippines, but I think the people in Singapore are more demanding
Oh,
because or like they're like quickie and queens, I think. But
okay.
because I also work in customer service here in the Philippines, but not under sales.
Mm, okay.
That's why in Singapore I don't mind giving my number because I hold 5 different branches in there. I don't mind giving my number to the customer because if I give the number of the office will call me. It's the same.
Oh,
Then the office receptionist will just pass me the customer. So sometimes the customer will gonna call me in the middle of the night. I don't mind as long as it's just one time. And it's hard.
Wow.
It's really hard. Because it's a massager. So it's more on after sales also.
So if like, where do I plug this in? Like, which one do I use?
It no, because that one is very simple. Let's say you bought my massager for your mom. So if your mom, let's say you already give it, blah blah blah, but if you bought it from me, I will explain to you the benefits. They are more like that.
Okay.
They're more like let's say different person have different body build. So if you put the massager on your back, there's a chance that the person will get hurt if it's on her bone. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I need
or they put the settings on too hard
yeah, something
or
like
too
that.
fast.
Also, you need to be precise because sometimes they lie on it, like lie down flat.
Yeah.
You can't do that because the weight is different. So I need to explain something like that. And if it's a gift, you will definitely give it to your mom. Then you tend to forget what I said. Then your mom will call me again. Then I will explain it to your mom again over the phone.
So it sounds like you have to explain something twice. First to the person who bought it, and the second time to the person who'll use it.
Yes. And sometimes even if it's not a gift, you will still gonna call me about the benefits of it because it has heat.
Yeah, if imagine if a family is sharing it, so maybe the husband buys it and the wife calls to ask about it, like because she has questions, or maybe the kids or whoever else is at home.
Yeah. Even the technical issues is fine.
Oh wow! So you're also
Yeah,
tech support.
everything is fine. It's stressful, maybe.
That's awesome. So
But I learned a lot, I think.
yeah, I can imagine. So what we're gonna do is our goal is to find the mistakes. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to read through what you've written down, and then I'm just going to point it out, write it down. We'll get back to it later. Okay.
Okay.
So wait, let me just change my screen. So when we upload this, there are like you'll be able to see where when we upload this, you'll be able to see the like what I'm reading. Okay.
Okay.
So it says here, my name's Maricris. I previously worked as a customer sales executive. I used to work for a company in Singapore. So the other advice that I give is read your writing aloud. It's a
Hello.
lot better
Yeah.
with read it
I
with
did that.
emotion. So you know that it sounds good. Like yeah, like sounds good. My dream job is to work from home. Sounds good. I'm good at experimenting with new recipes. Oh, the other thing is if you have someone else at home, ask them to read it aloud and listen to how they sound.
Okay.
So sometimes what I did is like most of our smartphones they have a voice feature. You can ask the phone to read
Read it
what
for
you've
you.
written down. Then like if you're on a computer, there's this thing called text to speech. You could search online. You could ask the website to read what you've written down, and you'll hear it. If there's something wrong with your sentence, you'll hear it. You'll hear.
But by the way, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is my voice clear?
Yeah,
Because
it's
because
loud
the
and clear. That-
pronunciation I watched on YouTube. You said that the person needs to shout.
Um,
That's
it
what I'm
depends.
trying.
For people who are introverted, you need to increase it to the maximum volume. But and also it depends on the situation. If you're talking on the phone, pretend that the other person is on the other side of the room. But if you're
Yeah.
talking to a person in person, if the person's right in front of you, try to pretend that you're talking to someone behind that person.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I know.
parang, I guess in Tagalog, patagusin mo yung boses mo. Like you're talking to someone behind that person.
But this one is clear, right?
Yeah, it's clear. And the funny thing is, my first impression when I heard you, when we started speaking in English, like, oh yeah, yeah, she's gonna get hired, for sure,
Wow.
because
Really? Thank
because
you.
of your like your tone of voice and how you pronounce the words. It's okay. Um, and the volume, because if you've gone through some of my other coaching sessions with my students, like you can hear their voice is soft, and I
Yeah,
have
really
to
soft.
like lakasan mo, and I'm like that, right?
Yeah.
Like come on, like nawawala, like volume. You have to increase the sound, because that's how it is. And I notice it. Like I went to different people's homes, and I noticed that different families, they also have their own culture. Like in the case of my mother's side of the family, like everyone is soft spoken. Like it's almost as if people are whispering when they talk.
Oh.
And then
No,
in my
Kapampangan are not like that.
yeah, 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 my father's side is Kapampangan. They're like,
Shouting.
when I visit them, akala ko sinisigawan ako.
No.
Kinakamusta lang pala ako.
Natural.
Yeah, and
Inborn.
like, oh, so that's how you talk. Like, it took me a while to figure that out because I haven't seen them in a long time.
You always thought that they're mad.
Yeah, I thought that they were screaming at me.
No, no, no. They're just like that.
Yeah.
Especially my family.
So yeah, so increase the volume. That's okay. So yeah, it says here I studied at San Fernando, Pampanga. I find it difficult to learn math. That's why I didn't agree to study accountancy or nursing. I remember. So what did you study? Anyway, I remember way back in primary school, the teacher sends me back to lower grade. Like grade 1, binabalik ka sa prep or something like
I
that.
think grade 2. Binabalik
Binabalik
ako
ka
sa
sa
grade
grade
1.
1.
Grade 2. Binabalik ako sa grade 1.
Yeah. Minsan parang they just do that to scare you.
Oh, naglalakad ako sa gitna ng hallway. Hiyang-hiya ako.
I feel
Hindi ko
embarrassed
makalimutan.
every time I remember it. I finished my Bachelor of Science in Tourism. I like the. Kulang ng the. So, lagay mo sa notes mo. Missing the. Says here, I like English language. I like the English language. So, kailangan ng the dito. So, we might find other sentences in your next writing that has a similar problem. It's necessary for me to improve myself that way. In that way, I can land a better job and reach my dreams. I wrote lesson 2 in case you don't have any. If you're having difficulty thinking of what to share on activity 1. Now, dito with what you did, you actually have more interesting answers in activity 2. So I want you, like, if you're ever gonna apply, if you're meeting people, include a mix of personal and professional details to make it sound more interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Um, well, some points for improvement: Bachelor of Science in Tourism. Just I studied tourism, so a lot simpler. What kind of work do you do? I haven't found one yet, but I'm eyeing call center industry. What sports? I do jogging. I do hiking from time to time. I'm 28 years old. I have siblings. We have a mini sari store. So that's good. That's good. Now, lesson 3. This is how you give introductions. 90% of call center work is giving instructions.
I find it hard. The instructions.
When you go out the gate, turn right. What's missing here, like at this part, is you want to point out the name of the street. So when you get out the gate, you're at the name of the street, and then you turn right. Walk straight to the roasted chicken store. So I guess it might be obvious, like when you're really out. roasted chicken store. So the missing detail here is the name of the street. When you get what I would do is when you get to the roasted chicken store, that's the name of the street, and then turn left. Walk towards the barangay hall. So this set of instructions is it seems to be 100% based on the 100% based on
Like
landmarks.
I use landmarks.
Yeah, you use 100% landmarks to give directions. Now, I also have students who did the opposite. It's 100% based on the name of the street. So everything, all you see is the street. It's like listening to Waze or Google Maps give directions. But if you want to be more precise with your instructions, you want to combine the streets and the landmarks so people don't get confused. Um, the other problem I encounter with this activity is some students on their first sentence they give a landmark, on their next sentence they give a street without a landmark, and then on their next, so they alternate between giving landmarks and streets. But you want to be more precise. You will see a nanay store at the intersection. Turn left, walk straight ahead with the SNR. Kulang ng, so yun ulit. Kulang ng the. So you need to add the with walk straight ahead with the SNR mall on your right.
Okay. I know this is one.
When you reach the intersection, cross over, cross the street and go to the waiting shed. Ganun dapat yung sentence. Ride the jeepney with the sign EDSA, pay 9 pesos, or try to ride an FX with the sign Loton. Oh yeah, you mentioned you live in Parañaque. Pay 25 pesos, ask the driver to drop you off at EDSA flyover. You will see a Jollibee on the other side. Walk on your left toward the footbridge, cross over to Jollibee. You'll see a big globe from afar. That's the Mall of Asia. Ride a jeep with a sign Mall of Asia.
Actually, I just invent this. I don't know where.
After a big
Where's
globe,
the location?
go down at the drop-off point. Drop-off point dapat.
Oh.
So, yun. On the far right, you will see KFC alongside Jayco. Walk toward the KFC, turn left. You'll see an elevator on your left. Go up to the third floor. You work in the mall. Okay.
No, I just.
Oh yeah, you use the mall as the no.
I just invent this. I'm not sure where is it.
Okay. Why do you want to work abroad? Ano may lesson for? My dad is working abroad back then when I knew him. So ito,
I think it should be when I knew him.
I knew my dad when I was 7 years old. Or maybe what you meant is my earliest memories of my father is from when I was 7 years old. Pwedeng ganon.
Okay.
Most of my relatives also went abroad. So ito, go. So write this on your notes. Go and went. If it's in the past, it's went. If it's in the present, it's go. Or if it's in the future, go. Growing up, I thought about working abroad. And then I thought how working abroad will make my life easier. I can buy the things that I like. So missing that. I can buy things that I like. Easy and simple. Incomplete sentence. Incomplete thought pala to. Easy and simple. That's why when I had the opportunity to go abroad, I grabbed it. So, ang better way to write this is, I grabbed my first opportunity to go abroad. Hello? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
listening.
Akala ko na-cut. I grabbed my first opportunity to work abroad. While working, yun, yung Theyre. You should, it's medyo, medyo parang ang kulit pakinggan, but you want to be, you want to
While
specify.
working, should be while working abroad.
Yeah. Dun mo rin realize kulang din ang it. While working abroad, it really hits me. Pero, yung it is not specific. What hits you?
Yeah.
Pwedeng, while working abroad, an idea hits me. Or, ay hindi, sinabi mo kasi reality.
Yeah, like reality.
Reality pala. Sorry, nagkamali ako ng basa. So, while working abroad, reality hits me. The experience is very far from what I imagined. I realized that working abroad is no joke. There are no words like fever, migraine, or any sickness. You need to crawl to reach the. If you need to crawl to reach the office, do it. It's an eye opener for me. It's hard work that an OFW needs to do. The sacrifices to earn money, the longingness of your family. I have friends who in the call center who work abroad previously before they work in the call center. Iba yung work ethic nila. They don't um, they like they're there all the time. And parang walang issue sa kanila.
Abroad.
Yeah, hindi, abroad, galing silang abroad and then they shifted to call center.
Walang issue yung trabaho sa call center? Para sa kanila?
Hindi, they worked sa call center kasi, oh wait, I forgot to ask, nasulat mo yung um, yung sinabi ko about yung the and yung sentence?
Alin po doon?
Balik tayo. Yung dun sa reality hit me. Nasaan na yun?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yun. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, yeah. So, what I was saying earlier is yung may mga nakilala ko sa call center, they were previously OFWs. They went back, tapos nagtrabaho sila sa call center. And one of the things that I noticed is they're more thankful for the job. And at the same time, they're more professional.
I hope na ganun din ako.
They're more professional. They don't complain. Kasi parang whatever it is, kasi in any job, whatever job you do, I'm sure you have experience working here in the Philippines, you have experience working abroad, right?
Yeah.
And whatever job you've taken, people complain. People you meet people who complain about the job, and when you get to a call center, it's the same thing. People are gonna complain about the job. Pero the funny thing is like in a call center, people complain about mahirap dahil night shift, mahirap dahil like you have to stay disciplined, you have to say no. If you want to stay,
that one is very simple. Night shift discipline is very simple.
Yeah, exactly. For OFWs, wala lang yun. Okay, like they're like wala lang. like
especially if nahihirapan ako, I'll just tell myself that I've been through this, I've been through that. This just to boost my self-confidence.
Yeah, exactly. And it's different with the people. Parang they sound more mature because they're like they're more professional. Like when I say more professional, pag sinabi na we need overtime. Okay, that's me. Like I volunteer or something like that because it's normal for them. Like the kind of work that they're used to, they don't complain about it. Yung iba kasi like fresh grad, nagugulat sila na parang ang hirap naman ito. Right?
Pareklamo.
Yeah, exactly. Parang yung focus nila is more on their rights. Pero like we're all there to work. We're all there to earn money. Yun yung attitude na napansin ko with friends who were previously OFWs. The sacrifice to earn money, the longingness for your family, adapting to different cultures. Ikaw hindi ka na mag-a-adapt masyado. I'm pretty sure you're familiar. Thank God He sends me some good people along the way. My experiences abroad are both happy and sad. Regardless, These are memories worth remembering. Well, yan, curious tuloy. What are those memories? So, when you tell your stories, like, diba, you can, pwede siyang intro, and it leads to another story. That's why I always recommend that you write down your stories para marami kang mapaghuhugutan during conversations. So, you mentioned here, lesson 5, you learned some new words that are new to your ears. Eh. Nga pala, ito yung what do you call that? Ito yung pronunciation problems. So, marami akong samples dito. Practice
Pronunciation
make you
thing.
better. If in doubt, search for it. Learn everything by heart. When we get to session 2, ang focus natin with that is more on the pronunciation part. We'll be focusing on the top 100 most used words in the English language. So we want to make sure na wala tayong problem with how you pronounce those words. Kasi those words are like 50% of your score. So kung perfect ka, so at least we're sure na na every other word na sasabihin mo, it sounds good. One sentence paragraph, when I tried it for the first time, I didn't understand its purpose. I tried to read what I write repetitively. I realized I put so many unnecessary words in it. Yun yung mapapansin mo. I tried to cut words as much as possible. It makes it easier to understand. I can also see my grammar clearly. The spacing is incredibly helpful. Yeah, that's true. It helps me remember what I learned. I like how clean it looks. Hindi ka naman didiri sa sulat mo. Kasi ako, pangit ako magsulat. Like, yeah. Pero when I do the one sentence paragraph, I grew up with a family na may problema sa budget. Kaya pinagkakasya ko yung sulat ko sa notebook.
Ano connect?
No. Like, and ang consequence nun, so parang when I'm writing down dun sa notebook, as in, pinupuno ko yung page ng sinusulat ko. Ang ending nun, ayoko nang basahin yung sinulat ko kasi ang pangit. Dikit-dikit siya.
Tsaka parang overwhelming siya kung sobrang dami.
Yeah. Meron nga kaming parang payabangan sa school before. How many lines can you write dun sa isang linya sa notebook? And I think I can do 10. Like 10 lines ng buong pangalan ko. Sulat mo lang yung buong pangalan mo and you write that down. I can write 10 dun sa notebook. And it's readable.
Nasanay na.
So, but that's not a good idea. You want something that's easy to read. Kaya, yun, one sentence paragraph format. I can easily add a topic in between. Yun yung maganda. Overall, it makes me a better writer. I will use this format from now on. If you want to earn more money, like matagal ka na sa call center, continue writing. You can earn entry level sa writing is, what do you call that? $1 per 100 words. You can get a job. You write. Yeah, 100 words is $1. So one page is like 500 words. So one page is $5. Kung sanay ka na magsulat, kung madali na sa'yo lahat to, as in yung high level na, at 60,000 pesos a month.
Laki na, no?
Yeah, 60,000 pesos a month. And you can do it, you can do that part-time muna, like every weekend or 30 minutes a day.
Mahanap?
Maraming like, well, you have to start building your reputation first. Mag-start ka with a blog. Gawa ka ng blog. And then you can create an account sa mga online job marketplace like Upwork or Fiverr or Freelancer. Pero if you're applying, you need one more thing. You need what they call a portfolio. A portfolio is like a collection of your writing. And the best way to do that is to post it on your blog. So, pwede kang mag-create ng account with Blogger or WordPress.com or Tumblr and just write down your thoughts and your ideas. And that can be a start. Okay?
Noted.
So, yun, if you want to learn more about that, That's one of our that's one of our future modules. So, yun, enroll ka rin doon. Now, in this oh wait, teka lang. Nasaan yung Nasaan yung 3? Parang hindi ko nakita yung what do you call that? Um, favorite uh, favorite song, tsaka favorite movie. Nalampasan ko ba? Oh, so you told the story instead.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, fine. Sige, diretso tayo sa diretso tayo sa lesson 7 in that case. Punta ka ng lesson 7 and then go to activity 2. Merong part dito, sinulat mo, sabi mo, advantage of working abroad. So, at first, ako yung nagbabasa and you heard it and it sounds okay. Minor corrections siguro every 10 sentences may isa tayong inaayos. It's not a big deal. So this time, ikaw
But
naman yung
still,
magbabasa.
it's a
So,
mistake.
since next week pa yung pronunciation natin, but next week start na ng training mo para at least matulungan kita ng konti. Parinig ng pronunciation mo. Advantage of working abroad. So,
Advantage of game na po.
yeah, game. I'm ready.
Advantage of working abroad. A person who works abroad is the best hire. Any kind of job is hard. Working is hard. Working abroad is harder. The stress level is higher. You need to be tough, defend face. Emotionally ready to pressure. Physically prepared for tasks. Mentally equipped to make decisions. Cultural adaptability is necessary. Being a team player is a good attitude to have. Extreme organizational skills. To be a fast learner is a must. Leadership is a skill to master. Positive thinking is everything. Learn to turn bad situations to good ones. Adjusting to sudden change of events. Patience in every situation is crucial. Flexibility is a major key. Extending hands to finish a task can go a long way. The person who works abroad has these traits. You can expect them to be responsible and reliable.
Very good. The only thing lang is adjust to sudden change of events. Parang incomplete thought to. So, you need, lagay mo lang yung words na you need to that will complete the sentence.
With where, sir?
Adjust to
where
sudden change of events.
adjusting to
In,
sudden.
sudden change of events. Kasi incomplete eh. Sino yung nag-a-adjust?
Sorry, what's the first word?
Yung sentence mo is adjust to sudden change of events.
Adjust.
So, ito yung incorrect kasi incomplete siya. So, you need to, so, if you want to correct that, add the words you need to adjust to sudden change of events. Kasi walang subject tong sentence na to. So, it sounds okay. Ilang sentence to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
But don't you think that it's
12,
too short?
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 sentences, tapos one error. Or, kasi incomplete lang yung But, yeah, it's mostly okay. So you should be confident with your grammar. Diba?
Actually, one of my issues is choosing words.
Choosing words.
Yeah, so I think I need to expand my vocabulary.
I usually recommend that you simplify the vocabulary. In the real world, you're not trying to impress a teacher.
Yeah. But sometimes I'm thinking that maybe I don't know.
Your main
But
goal when you talk to people is to pass on the message. You want to make sure that they
yeah, correct.
understand not just what you say, you want to make sure that they understand what you mean.
But what if I don't know the words that they say?
Oh, okay. So you're um
That
okay.
is
I'm gonna give
one of my
you
concerns.
what I did. So sometimes when I'm speaking to Americans, they have a different accent. Okay, they have a different accent, and I don't know what they're talking about when I'm listening to them speak on the phone, right? So what did I do? I'm not trying to blindly learn new words. What I did was I tried to learn words about the exact situation that I'm in.
Yeah, I
So,
get what you're
for
saying.
example, if you are selling massagers, what you need to know about? You need to know all the words related to massage. You need all the words related to the body, like when it comes to the benefits of massage, like you want to make sure that the lymph nodes are flushed. You want to make sure that the muscles are relaxing. You want to make sure that you
Like
don't
power
have
word.
any tight muscles because tight muscles negatively affect your mobility. You want to make sure that um, so you use the massager to help your body recover from uh, from the pressure that it received from working out or something like that. Like you want to know the words related to why they're using the product, so you can discuss those. So in the case of you answering questions or listening to them, it's more about knowing the situations and the kinds of conversations in advance so you can
Like,
understand. So that's the only vocabulary that you need to focus on learning.
oh, okay. That's why it also depends on what account you're in.
Yeah, exactly. So
Because okay,
even if you have training, even if they're the ones training you, I want you to write your own manual about that account. Do you have kids or
no,
nephews, nieces?
other in Pampanga.
Yeah, you have a pamangkin.
In Pampanga.
Oh, okay. So I want you to imagine you're gonna teach your nephew or niece to do your job, and write down a manual on like what they need to do. And once you have that, whatever it is that you say, like let's say, sometimes here's the thing. So in my case, I'm helping my in my last call center job, I'm helping my customers get their internet fixed. Okay, so most of the time it's an internet problem. Sometimes the problem is the email, right? So I know like 9 out of 10, the reason a person's calling is they have a problem with the internet or they have a problem with their email. So if they call me and I'm having a difficult time understanding their accent, or we have a really bad line, like it's breaking up so much, like Filipinos call it choppy, but like don't say choppy, that's bad. Um, if the line is really bad and I have difficulty understanding them, I ask the question, are you having trouble with your internet or are you having trouble with your email? And I wait for them to respond. And if they say it's something else, that's okay too. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, do you get that part? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like if you know the exact reason why they're calling, If you're having a difficult time understanding them, you can take control of the conversation and lead how the conversation's gonna go. So you said that you're worried about like you don't know the words that they're using, you're having difficulty, and then change it to your say like, oh, I don't understand what you're saying. So are you calling about this or are you calling about this?
Like change the pace,
Yeah,
something like
you
that.
can control the pace of the conversation by asking questions.
Yeah, ask it yourself because most of the time you know what's the problem. It's your account anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So the language, the vocabulary that you need to brush up on shouldn't be general language because there are 171,000 English words. Good luck, right? Good luck trying to expand your vocabulary.
Okay, but at least you can suggest something like maybe watch movies.
No.
But actually, I think
Learn about your account. Like,
yeah.
what kind of problem? Learn how to describe every problem that you encounter in detail.
Okay.
And then those are the exact words that you need to learn. The words needed to describe the exact problem that you're encountering. That's it.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
If you go to a nice school, a popular school like La Salle, Ateneo, or UP, when you go to college in those kinds of schools, you're not asked to read the entire library.
Yeah.
Every year, every semester, you probably have maybe 8 or 10 books or a dozen books that you need to read at that semester. And that's it.
Yeah.
Diba? You don't spend 4 years reading the entire library.
Then everything depends on
Yeah. You
actual
want you want to know the words that are relevant to what you're trying to do. And then when you're trying to learn another skill, then you learn the vocabulary of that skill. For example, I- when I was 25, I learned how to cook. So I learned how to saute. I learned how to do prep the food. I learned the different temperatures that you need when you're baking something. So like that's another vocabulary. And then
vocabulary on a particular situation.
yeah, when I learned how to when I learned freelancing, when I learned working online, it's another set of vocabulary. So when I learned how to exercise, it's the same thing.
Okay. Got it.
So in your case, since it's that job, learn the vocabulary of your job.
Okay.
Figure if you hear a word that doesn't make sense to you or that's not clear, or like sila lang yung nagkakaintindihan, write that down and ask someone.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, right. Taking notes.
So you mentioned here a person who lives alone is the best hire. You are forced to mature faster. That's true. Pushing yourself physically to do the chores, no one will do yung palitan mo ng the chores for you anyway. Dealing with your own emotions alone. Incomplete thought. So you have to deal with your own emotions alone or you will deal with your emotions alone. Ito, your own. Yung sinasabi mo redundant, example din to, your own. Pag sinabi mong your, oh, understood na yun. Own din.
Oh,
Diba?
yeah.
This is your bag. This is your own bag.
Yeah.
Parang the simpler sentence sounds better, no?
You have to deal.
Another trick.
You have to deal on your emotions.
Yeah,
Alone.
exactly. Or you will deal with your emotions alone. Either way. When you're confused with a sentence, palitan mo yung subject or palitan mo yung verb and see if that sounds the same.
This one is
The person who can help you is you. Okay lang. So because you're trying to emphasize. So yung sinasabi kong example like change the subject. The animal who can help you is you. Or the thing that hindi naman thing. Nagigets mo? Like, try
Ah,
changing it. And if it sounds okay, even after you change the subject, like, that should be good. Mentally preparing yourself for life struggles. Incomplete. You have to or you will mentally prepare yourself for life struggles. Hardships are inevitable. Cooking every day to make ends meet. You do not buy things you don't need. Being disciplined all the time is a must. Strong-mindedness is necessary. Be vigilant in every situation. Adjust to different circumstances. Find, yon. Find, walang S, wala ring A. Find ways to make everything easier. Work, walang S, harder but smarter.
oh,
Consider, well, hindi considering. Consider the consequence first or consider the consequence before taking action. Consider the consequences before taking action. It's more specific kung ganun. Yun, walang verb. Be responsible for your own decisions. Living alone is hard, but yung paltan mo, but living alone opens your eyes. Or, but kung gusto mo, paltan mo siya, pwedeng hindi exactly living alone. Living alone is hard, but the experience will open your eyes. So it's more
oh,
specific.
more precise.
Sometimes you will learn, ano, ano
It.
yung it, di ba? Ano yung
What
it?
was it?
Sometimes you will learn lessons the hard way. Di ba? You want to change you want to minimize yung use ng it.
But you can
Flexibility.
go directly. Sometimes you will learn lesson.
Oh, you will learn lessons the hard way. Or you will learn solutions the hard way. So kung gusto mong gumamit ng alternate word, okay lang. You can expect them to be a fast learner. Ano yung them? Ayun, when you hire a person who's living alone, you can expect them to be a fast learner. They are worthy and dependable. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Um, Sabi mo dito, I work in the customer service industry for 8 years. I've been to 3 um, THREE instead na
Oh,
number. Use a number pag malaki na. Pero pag maliit yung number, use a word.
okay.
I first as a data encoder. Ito my first job was or I worked as a data encoder for my first job. I worked as an airport operations assistant for my second job. I worked as a customer sales executive for my third job. I worked 3 different jobs. Or I worked 3 different job titles. All of my past work is customer service in nature. One major similarity in delivering exceptional customer service, incomplete thought. Um, okay. So, ang kulang lang dito is one major similarity with all my jobs. Kasi parang, sinabi mo lang is delivering, So, gawin mo, ang sentence is, one major similarity with all my jobs is I deliver exceptional customer service. Yun, mas solid yun. I constantly pay close attention to the details. I consistently deliver my service well. I am not a later person. I guess what you meant is I do not procrastinate. If I can do it now, I will do it now. Sudden change of events are unavoidable. I'm a fast learner. I taught myself to be flexible. I try to make things positive. Whenever I'm stressed, I'll just step a little behind and take a breath. Then I'll continue what needs to be done. I do not dwell on things kulang ng that, I can't control. So napansin mo, kanina meron tayong kulang ng that, meron ulit na kulang ng that. I do not dwell on things that I can't control. Like traffic, I try to simplify things. Separate sentence yung I try to simplify things. Yung like traffic, gawin mong complete sentence to. adjust when necessary. I adjust when necessary. I always think both ways before making a move, or I always think carefully before making a move. I professionally approach, walang ED. Remove yung ED. I professionally approach difficult situations. I do not mind extending my...
Wait.
Ay, sorry, mabilis ba?
Ano po yung professional? Di ko na makita.
Ito, I professionally approach difficult, walang ED.
Ano po ba tayo?
Diba, meron ka adjust when necessary. I always think both ways before making a move. I professionally approach, walang ED, difficult situations. Nahanap mo na?
Opo.
Okay. I do not mind extending both my hands. Both my hands. Baliktad lang. Sabi mo dito, my both hands. Both my hands if needed. Pero medyo parang makata na yung style nitong mo. So dapat I do not mind extending my work hours if needed.
Oh.
Diba? Para ka namang nanliligaw kasi parang instead na pwede ba kami mag-date? Sabihin mo, pwede ko bang mahingi ang kamay ng
Kamay niya.
Diba? Parang more direct. Use more direct language. These traits, ano yung traits? Oo nga pala. So, pwedeng the examples above or the traits that I mentioned. So it sounds more specific. Molded who I am today. Pero gets ko na. Kasi huling dalawang sentence na to. I am a dependable and reliable person. You can rest assured that I am trustworthy. Now, hired ka na, so hindi na masyadong useful sa'yo to. Pero if you want to sound better, instead of describing yourself using positive traits, you want to use stories that point out your positive trait. Diba? Hello?
Opo.
So, parang ito kasi, like, you didn't do it all the time. So, you already started doing this here. Although hindi mo siya ginawa sa lahat. Pero, meron kang mix na whenever I'm stressed, I just take a step back and take my breath. Instead of saying na you're positive, instead of ending with you're just positive, you really did share an example. Pero mas maganda, more examples, the better. Instead of pointing out your positive trait and risk sounding na nagyayabang ka, you want to use examples. Okay?
Yeah. Because sometimes they will ask you how you handle stress.
We have a very recent meme. Picture siya ni Chris Aquino. And then it says because. Yeah, exactly. So if you say I'm a positive person, I'm flexible, I'm professional, you're professional because, so you have to think like that. Whatever positive trait you put here, because, explain mo. Tell the story. Diba? And you all have stories. The main problem is a lot of the stories are in Filipino. You need the English version of your story written down, so when the time comes that you need to share the story, you're not in a position where you have to translate anymore. Like, the story is there, you just share it. You want to know a secret?
Of course.
When I wrote down callcentertrainingtips.com, the main reason I started posting my stories on the blog, well, I'm trying to help my friends. There's another secret reason why I'm writing those stories. I'm writing those stories so I can prepare for interviews.
Oh.
I use the exact same stories when I go to an interview.
That's okay.
So when I go to an interview, I get my smartphone, I go to callcentertrainingtips.com and I read my own advice. And there are stories of me facing problems, and yeah, that's exactly what I share.
gonna be easier for you to talk
Yeah.
about yourself.
Yeah. And
Because
sometimes
sometimes you know what you want to say.
my excuse is like they ask me, how do you spend your free time? Well, I spend a lot of my free time writing, and I write about my mistakes, I write about my problems, and I write about the solutions that I came up with. I have this website. I pull up my smartphone, I show them, and I tell them stories about the different things that I've written down. And nawala na yung interview questions. Wala nang why should I hire you? Wala nang
Yeah.
what are your strengths? Wala nang... I just talk about what I've written down and I share my story and they're like, oh, okay, interesting story. And when do you want to start? Or when are you available? Yun na yung next question.
Um, Also, I read about the thing about this your story that you mentioned that both of you didn't get hired,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
the
That one.
Provinciana accent got
Yeah, the
hired.
girl with the Provinciano's accent. Yeah, she's really good at connecting.
Because that one is a conversational. Uh, it's if she can connect, it's gonna be easier.
Yeah, she was asking questions. She was telling stories. Partially, she gave instructions because she told the story of how difficult it was for her to get from her place to that building because she's not from Manila. So she told those stories, and they were laughing. And she even asked questions about like, are you also from the province? How long have you been in Manila? Like there were those small details, and she got hired because of that.
Friendly, also friendly.
Diba? So it's all about. So I realized that you want to get hired in the call center. You want to improve your grammar. You want to improve your pronunciation. But what's the main goal? Because like for someone who went to school in the Philippines, what did they teach us sa English class? They taught us reading. They taught us grammar rules. Taught us vocabulary. And that's it, diba?
Actually, yesterday I called the e-performance. I asked about something, and then the customer service. Actually, I don't think that she's a customer service. I think she's an HR.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Hello."
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. She answered like that, and I'm thinking if she's why is she approach this kind of conversation like that? She's not friendly at all. I mean, yes, maybe I'm new or I'm just a trainee, but you should be more professional.
Well, yeah, sometimes I don't know, but I guess with the HR, with the people who are not dealing with customers, one of the things what I do is when I look at other people, I try to empathize with their situation before I make my opinions.
Maybe she's stressed.
Yeah, well, if you're working in recruitment, these people talk to 100 people a day minimum.
Maybe that's her.
100 people a day is an 8-hour shift for a call center worker.
It's
So
draining.
one of the things that you're going to learn very soon, depending on what account is AHT. What's AHT? Average handle time. That's the amount of time that you talk to the customer, right? So if they
Yeah.
say that your AHT is 10 minutes, that means you're talking to 6 people an hour. So that's 60 people every um 60 people every shift. And then ano lang, 8 hours lang. So 6 times 8, 48 people per shift, right? Now, if they say that your AHT is 5 minutes, so 48 times 2 is about 90 something, 96 maybe.
I think it
96
will.
people. So that's almost 100 people per shift. Now, if your AHT for accounts that are like customer service in nature, mabilis lang, that's 3 to 5 minutes. So 3 times 6. Sorry.
I hate math.
Yeah, I know. Like I use calculators for this, but you get the idea, right? If
Yeah,
your
but you just
AHT is
read
low,
what
you'll
you
talk to
just
more
said. I
people.
wrote.
So that's what it's like. They're more, and these people have reports and medyo, I guess parang ano, like maybe you spoke to someone na natabunan na ng trabaho, right? So these are your answers are very good already. So my advice, just make sure that your attendance is perfect. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I read that attendance is very critical when you're attending.
I shot a video about my advice for people who got hired in a call center, like
Yeah,
how it's.
I also read about that.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's not the finish line. You're at the starting line. So I gave advice on like how to spend your resources, your time, your attention, your money.
I
Um,
also read about the egg.
oh yeah,
Hunting.
about the egg. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to sell eggs, that's 50,000 a year. Uh, my main advice, if you just passed, pay attention to your instructor, the team leader. You're going to have batchmates who have call center experience, and they're gonna sound like an expert kasi sabihin nila supervisor na sila or team leader sila dun sa previous job or top agent sila dun sa previous job. Do not, well, pay attention to what they say, but do not follow what they say.
Okay.
Okay? Kasi different call center companies have different rules, 'di ba?
And usually may sungay na sila.
Exactly. That's the thing. And that's the thing. That if you go to callcentertrainingtips.com/Jerry, I told the full story there.
I read that. Yeah,
You
I
read
read that.
that. Like,
Yeah, I read that.
there were 30 of us, and at the end of the first
They are calling you
5 months,
Mongo.
lima na lang kami. Right? And that was weird kasi at first, during day one, I was intimidated kasi may supervisor, may
Parang
former
ang
team
gagaling na nila.
leader. Yeah, they're all top notch, and I'm the loser in the batch, and the other guy who also passed kasi siya lang yung kilala ko na ano, he already has call center experience, so medyo ano, he's like half asleep during training. But
Oo.
he's really good. Pero he does pay attention at the critical parts. And it turns out na kaya tutulog-tulog siya because he had the exact same account.
Oh.
That's why alam na niya. So he just paid attention ng tools kasi sa tools nagkaiba. Pero with the rules, alam na niya by heart. But that's another interesting story. Hindi ko pa nasusulat 'yan. Anyway, yeah, just pay attention to the trainer. Just attendance. Attendance is the most important thing. Um, having perfect attendance guarantees that no matter how much you screw up at the job, you will always get a second chance.
Okay.
So that attendance will save you. Kung palpak ka with the customer service, kung mabagal ka masyado with the computers, like that's fine. Attendance, you will get better. You will get a second chance as long as your attendance is good.
Also, I think if you need to learn about the tools, let's say, or the customer service, definitely it will improve along the way. But the discipline of attendance that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Kung may problem ka sa tools, go to work earlier. Like, play around with it. And, yun.
Mai-improve mo siya. Pero kung lagi kang late ka talaga, wala talaga tayong magagawa.
Yeah, practice writing instructions. Click this, click this, click this, click this, click this, and this. If the problem is this, click this. Ganun lang. And then when you have those steps written down and eventually transferred to your head, ano
You
na
don't
siya
need
eh.
your notes.
The Catholics have a very good, what do you call that? Very good tool. It's called the rosary.
Yeah.
And you memorize like a few, and like you know exactly where you are in that program because that's a guide. So when you write down your instructions, try to write down like a rosary version of your instructions. Like, I know I ask you to write down, make it as detailed as possible, but there's also like, and I'm sure madadalian ka dito because that's how you approach the activity 3, the landmarks.
Okay.
So,
I always take notes. I know it's critical.
so
I'm
yeah,
scared about I call that information overload. I'm
yeah,
scared about that.
you want to have a longer version of of your instructions. You also want to write down a second version. The second version is the short version, and the short version should be easy to remember. So I can give you a 100 sentence version of how to cook steak,
Wow.
pero I also have like make sure your steak is at room temperature and then cook your steak for 2 minutes on both sides and make sure that the outer layer of the steak is has browned out, and you do that and you accomplish that by cooking the steak on high heat. That's it. Like maybe I did that
Very, very simple.
3 5 sentences. That's it. So that you need. So if you really want to be good at giving instructions, write the detailed version and then write the shorter version, because different people will require different versions of the instructions.
Yeah. Also, I'm getting some problem with using along with that, indirection, crossover on the center. It's hard for me to think what words to use.
Hmm?
Describing.
Oh, when you're describing, just start with what you see on the left, on the right, on the in. Like I know that there are complex words like crosswise, or like the medical people have very precise words with position, body position, but yeah, just use basic words like um, start with from your point of view. Like for example, on my desk, um, if we start from the left side, there's the speaker, there's my phone, there's the mic, and then you'll see my laptop, and then above my laptop there's a big monitor, and that's it, right? So you start your description with what you see, top to bottom or left to right, like just go in that order, left to right, top to bottom.
Okay.
So do you have any questions or anything that you'd like me to discuss in detail?
Uh, Not really, but I think I will finish the second week a bit slower because
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
doing.
um, the last 3 activities are more on the pronunciation, so we can just have our pronunciation drills at the end. And then if you'd like to get more lessons, or when you get the chance, buy my book. It's coming
I did
out.
pre-order. I
Yeah,
have
it's for
yesterday.
pre-order. It comes out during uh, probably after the end of February. Or currently at 49.15%.
But when do you think that you'll finish it? Because I think I'll get my salary in March.
Likely by end of February, because we'll still need to take it to the editors, and they need to check for errors, and then we will be formatting it so we have a printable version, and we will be having a digital version that's like you can check it, you can read it on your phone.
Okay. Also, also, if I have a chance, I wanted to avail the. I think that is 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you mean the mentoring?
Yeah, for six
Okay.
months.
Yeah, but like focus on your training at work first, and then the main objective of mentoring is keeping you accountable and reminding you like what you need to do and what you need to focus on. Um, Several problems that I encounter is people lose their cool in the call center. Like
Like,
if you're speaking to a customer and ang lakas nila magmura, there
I
are
relate.
yeah, that can be a problem. So yeah, and one of the things I'm excited about when I do the mentoring program is we go through your spiel and then we find ways to make it sound better and we find ways to make it more effective and we try to cut down the parts of your spiel that causes the customers to get angry.
I think you're so.
Yeah. You can get that later.
Okay.
The bonus version of the book comes with 4 sessions of mentoring. It's a short 30-minute call where we discuss what happened during your week. I'll be sending you a journal activity that you can use to evaluate your day while you're working in the call center. So you'll also have some writing to do.
After I settle myself,
Yeah,
because I know this
go
one will
ahead.
be
Go ahead and do
big
that.
adjustment. That's why I really wanted to finish this. Maybe just the week one at least I finished it slower, but I'll still do it.
Yeah, and make sure you get enough sleep. Then sa when you start
Okay.
because it's difficult. You need more sleep if you're working at night. Or at least you need more time lying down before you fall asleep.
Yeah.
You
I'll
might
just
need magnesium.
what
Uh,
I'll search that.
Magnesium supplements for sleep. Usually it's magnesium and melatonin.
I'll try and find that.
Okay? If you have questions, just send us a message, okay?
Okay.
Sorry about the
Please
mix up
send me the
earlier.
recording.
Hmm? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Please send-
Well, the recording's supposed to be set for next week. I'll read. I don't think you have any private info posted here anyway. So I'll just do a quick check and post it, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Sige.
What else? Also, I can access the week two, right? Because I think it's closed
Oh, I think we'll send you. The admin should send you a link.
for the week two.
Yeah. Check your email. You should receive another email with the link to week 2.
Okay, I'll just wait.
Okay. Sige.
Thank you.
Talk to you next week or whenever you finish your writing exercises.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye bye.